is always, that's why I like so much to do intercultural work, is like that you go in a very different place from yours, and it's like you discover secret codes. Because you don't know how to read the culture yet, because you know a bit, you read it on a book, but it's not the same. So.
DANCELOG dipersembahkan oleh Paradance Platform, Sukma Inisiatif, Balai Budaya Minomartani, RGB Production.
Halo teman-teman, ketemu dengan saya Nia Agustina di DANCELOG. Hari ini kita akan ngobrol-ngobrol dengan dua teman kita dari Bilaura Kolektif, Angie and Sylvia. Oke, so sebelum kita ngobrol lebih lanjut, mungkin enak sih kalau kita bisa kenalan gitu dengan mereka berdua gitu. Maybe we can like introduce ourselves a bit, and we can have like nice conversation after that. And yeah, before that is welcome in DANCELOG.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Terima
much.
kasih.
Yes. Okay, so I think you can introduce yourself a bit.
Okay. I start. So my name is Angie ROTTENSTEINER, which is a German name because I come from Austria originally, but I do work most of the time nowadays in Italy. I'm part of Bilaura Collective. We do intercultural work, intercultural artistic work between dance, theater and music. And yes, for now I think that's it. And yeah, I'm in Indonesia and I'm very excited to be here.
Yes. In bahasa Indonesia? No?
Later.
Bahasa Indonesia only in the morning.
Yeah, only in the morning.
Only in the morning.
So, nama saya Silvia. Yes,
Yeah,
correct. Okay.
Yes, right.
Silvia RIBERO. I come from northern Italy, from the Alps, so more mountain, Gunung.
Yes.
Gunung, part of Italy, and I'm 38, and since 11 years I work in Bilaura Collective. I came from theater and dance, and then I wanted to have more interdisciplinary and intercultural artistic work, and I couldn't find it around myself, so I made out a call for artists, and many answered, including Angie, and 11 years ago we started Bilaura Collective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start from that. Like, what is like Bilaura Collective, and what Bilaura Collective do around that 11 years?
We had different phases, I would say, but already at the very beginning there was a large group of artists, and they were coming both from different disciplines, someone from circus, someone from dance, someone from theater or music.
Writers, poets.
Yes, also intellectuals were there, and also from different places in the world. So it kind of was destiny somehow that we put in dialogue both different disciplines and different cultural sensitivity to what is performing arts, what it means, how we read it also, which taste and expectations also we have on artistic doing. And that changed also with culture, and that was interesting somehow. And so we got stuck with this interest and continue studying that along the years, but with different projects.
Yes. And I think we became more politically and politically engaged over the years, so we also understood that interculturality is also a responsibility. So it's really about how we can create bridges between cultures, how we can speak to each other, how we can enter in dialogue with our differences, but also with what unifies us as human beings. So I think we try to translate this in artistic language and try to meet artists from all over the world and try to create something together and see if that can be meaningful to the public, to the audience, but also meaningful for us as human beings. I would say, no?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, one of the program is coming here.
Yes.
Obviously, like in Indonesia, specifically in Yogyakarta, working together with our platform, Paradance platform. So can you, maybe we can talk a bit about that, like how we met and how finally this happened, like how, maybe,
Go.
Well, we
Eventually, this embarrassment starts answering first.
it's always like that.
Eventually, me and you, we already met in Serbia.
Yeah.
1 year ago in October, no?
No, 2 years
2 years ago.
Yeah,
2 years.
2022.
Yes. But there we just met for a moment and we didn't have a... I think it was the first time we see each other.
Yeah, you said that I ignored you.
Well, you didn't ignore me, you were very busy.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
But I was like, that woman, that girl is interesting, so I continue watching her. And 1 year later you went to Denmark.
Yeah, also like in the same year, we have been meeting Indonesian artists in another artistic residency in South Korea and have been already talking to us about the scene in Indonesia and we started being
honestly, he told us
curious.
how good the food in Indonesia is. That was the main point. Huh?
Also, yeah.
Can we say his name? Like
Hario and
Hario.
Airini, they were two artists in the residency also in Korea like us.
In
And
ACC, right?
in ACC, in Asia Cultural Center in Gwangju. And we both won our residency program there, and so we kind of saw each other like often after 3 months.
A lot of pesta.
And that started a curiosity. And then there was this meeting then in Brussels, in Belgium. We also met Indonesian Dance Festival in the person of Ratri, who was giving a speech in this conference. So again, it was starting this conversation also about the Indonesia scene and the reality of arts here. And then last year we met again in the ITM Network for Performing Arts in Europe, in Denmark, and we had very good conversation, especially about intercultural work and how important it could be for arts to be also a bit in the spirit of the time, in this era where there is a more and more globalized society. Then we can say that there is many people collaborating internationally, but one thing is collaborating, one thing is trying to understand each other, and this, it's not international, it is intercultural. So in our the conversation was interesting because we all understood that we need new global sensitivity about how we work together. And Belora has quite an history on experimenting with collective processes of thinking together, creating together, directing together sometimes. And in that frame, to be aware of also not only the individual differences but also the cultural ones actually help the work to flourish and the group also of work to be happier during doing their job.
Yeah, and I remember that we met, actually we talked a lot, not during the ITM forum, but after in the opening of ILT Festival, right?
Yes, true.
During the lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ate and we talked a lot about our contacts. And I remember that I said that even in Indonesia, we're trying to gain the sensitivity in the intercultural work because Indonesia itself is really diverse. then when we work with the choreographers with the different backgrounds, different cultural cultural background, I think we need to raise the sensitivity in that sense, and also because for me the context is I work a lot in the curating, dramaturgy, and producing. It's already really hard to seen as someone who has this specific hierarchy in the scene, this specific power in the scene. Working with choreographer with the specific cultural background is really tricky. I think with also as myself as a Javanese have this magister education, something like that, you know, with all those privileges, working with someone from different regions, a different province that have like different infrastructures, like different education. I'm not saying that like lower and something like that, but just different.
Yes.
That's really something that we need to really careful and we need to taking care and nurture in that process.
Totally.
I think it's very much related that human relationship, like human relation is in itself already complex because we are made from different history, from different culture history, but also life experience. But what we also work a lot now in the recent years is intersectionality. Yes, saying right. Which considers exactly this, what you say. It's not just that me and you, we are from different cultures.
Yes.
But I have white skin, you have darker skin. We have different social classes. So there are so many things that come together when we meet. When we meet a new person. So we always have to think that it's not just the culture. As you said, I work with a choreographer from Sumatra, but he has also different, it's not just cultural background, no? There are so many things coming together. As you said, maybe he lives with other income, so I have a different position. So I think we are trying to think together this complexity in our work and see how we can navigate with it, because it's not like we can solve it, but we can say, okay, these things play together, and art can be a vehicle to overcome this.
I think it's totally it's help like art is not just decoration. At least in our work we decided that it's not decoration and it's not celebration, purely celebration of beauty. Of course, art has to do with beauty, sure, but also it needs to be necessary somehow for community, for all of us. And in the era of global community, there are some things that intercultural discourse as chapter can give us as citizens of the world. Like it tackles some things like hierarchy, like power structures. No, they are always with us. Even as artists, they're always with us. And either we ignore them, and we walk in our art completely unaware of what moves above our heads, or we try to be smarter about what the power structures in the globalized era function, and how they function in our daily life in the end. And this can make us smarter, but not only smarter because it's beautiful to be smarter, but because maybe then art, with this more awareness, can take a stronger position for making this new globalized society a better place to live, a good place to live.
Okay, so you say that art about art roles in the global community. And
yeah, it's, I think because Bilora somehow, like also generation-wise, I would say, I was born in 1985, so and our colleagues more or less, we were more or less the same generation, especially at the beginning. Now it's wider about the range, but we were pretty much the same generation at the beginning, and we all grew up with our national societies that 5 minutes before from our parents were like very much more closed, and then with our generation it was opening and globalizing, and we have seen also, internet came in. Traveling was totally changing the way to travel. It was more accessible. Everybody started in Europe to move with our generation, but also, for example, like me in Italy, I have been the first generation that had friends that were not born in Italy. They were migrants. It was the first time in Italy in the 90s and in the early 2000s where the society was becoming also multi-ethnical. And therefore, I think it stayed with us. I think it's different from Indonesia. Like, Indonesia has already a vast variety of cultural roots. But Italy was, although it is like, for sure, there is regional identity very strong, but somehow, you know, the people is one, more or less. And so you could really, I have been witnessing the first steps of seeing the people different from you, different skin color, different language, language, a different food, and the conflict within. So I think a bit
Racism,
was also, Bilora was also answering to a specific era and social change that we have been witnessing in our youth, let's say, in our 20s and so on. And then from that on, stay with us to really try to make a bridge between art and society. More or less, yes, I would say this. And we are a bit idealist, so in a way we dream big. So we really try to believe that art can actually make the difference and contribute to make the world a better world. And there are conflicts everywhere.
But I also love the process of creating art, making us like better person, hopefully. Like when we working like in now. We have this residency program, and even just 3 weeks, I already reflect a lot of things about what we did during this residency process, you know, and that's also makes me trying to do something on myself. Like how I can be more sensitive in this kind of dialogue with you guys and another 3 artists, because the process is quite intense and we met a lot. We don't know like if we heard each other as simple as that during the process, because somehow people like me, I cannot really express when I got her in that exact time. I always like thinking, okay, I need to push back myself first before I really say that I'm hurt, you know. So maybe another people also, I always thought that maybe another person also have some same struggle with me, something like that. So I think during this process also personally, also artistically, it's really something for me.
For me, especially in intercultural context, because I think in reality it happens in all the groups, like when you work collectively, the communication and the way to really horizontalize processes is always a challenge process. So I think already when we, let's say we are from the same country, this is already challenging. What for me is always, that's why I like so much to do intercultural work, is like that you go in a very different place from yours, and it's like you discover secret codes. Because you don't know how to read the culture yet, because you know a bit, you read it on a book, but it's not the same. So the longer time you stay, you understand the secrets, or they're not secrets, but they're, let's say, secret ingredients of how to read the new culture you're in. And I think it's the same, you know, when you meet us or for the artists we're working with, and it's every time I discover something new, I'm like, secret. It's then sometimes it's frustrating because you offend someone without knowing, and you need to work the process. It's always a challenge, but when you really are able to understand, then it's something really powerful for me.
Yeah,
and it is transformative also for, like, it's a mirror, like you also get to know yourself better.
Yeah.
This is valid in every relation, of course, but there is the specificity of having artistic relation.
Yeah.
This is very specific, and when you meet through art, you meet also on another level, which is not just a social level, like when you go out for dinner, no? There is that meeting, and then there is the creative meeting. And the artistic meeting has another, is like you meet in another point of reality. And that transforms you as a person, because it opens you windows and also enrich the art. And at the end of the day, this is our profession. So it's kind of our interest that we do the best art that we possibly can, and that we look for the ways that can make our art more rich and more attentive also to the specific questions, existential questions that we have at each time and place. And what is really nice is that as much as you see yourself when meet the other than yourself, also you understand something about humanity by meeting in the artistic field, because some things are different, and we, for sure, we focus on differences in terms of being able to respect them, listen to them, and use them as richness. But there is so much that is just in common. This is the wonderful, this is the miracle. Like, humans are much more alike than they are different from one another.
Yes.
And in this project, I think it's also in the residency here, we are tackling some very hot topics about, violence against women, and you can see that we have so many experiences in common. And we have different ages, different cultures, different language, different religions. And still, there is so much that brings us together.
Yeah, and we live also so far away
So
from each
far
other.
away.
But then, we still, even though that's bad, like that's a similarity which really bad, but we also have the similarity that really good. Like we all like human. We just human, that we really want to connect with each other in a good way, and a good, in the warm vibes, in the warm,
And I think also there is this it's very human to have industriosity, to have the wish of doing something for the world, for your community, for the planet. I don't know, it's very, human beings do not sit and do nothing. They have this instinct of doing. So when you decide to do something that is contributing. It's a big joy, and many of us share this joy, and we can call it with different names because we have different languages, but it is the same joy.
Yes. I agree with that. And yeah, then you already mentioned it about our project.
Yes. A bit, with a little spoiler.
Little spoiler. But then, what happens? And how was the process so far? Like, it's already 3 weeks.
Yes.
And yeah.
Well, the aim was, and I think we are. I have to say I'm a bit proud of us because I feel
a bit, only a bit,
just a bit.
Angie.
Because I think we're achieving what we set as a goal. I remember that we were kind of framing some topics when we had our first brainstormings together. But then we also said we want to meet the artists, the 3 Indonesian artists, and meet us in the artistic space, exchange our practices, and then find together the topic that is necessary for us in this very moment. So I think we've been doing all of that the last 3 weeks. We've been first exchanging, getting to know our artistic practices, teaching each other, showing each other our works. And then we went to the process, I think, the last week of understanding and narrowing down what we really feel is urgent now. And the other day, 3 days ago, I think finally it
something
came to
clicked.
us. And yeah, and we decided to, we do want to speak about violence and women, sexual harassment in our society globally, I think, not just Indonesian, but I think globally. And we said also, I think, as we are 5 women on stage, this is also something urgent for us in this contemporary society.
Yeah.
Forgot?
No, I am also very proud. Not a bit proud, fair.
Yeah. So, okay, teman-teman kita sebenarnya, aku mau menjelaskan. I will explain a bit in bahasa Indonesia. So,
sure.
Jadi project residensi Sylvia dan Angie di sini bekerja sama dengan Paradance, dan kita bekerja dengan 3 seniman Indonesia lainnya, Ella Mutiara, Putu Arista Dewi, dan Lestari. Nah, proyeknya seperti apa, kita akan lanjutin lagi ngobrolnya. So, I also proud of us that when we create the rules, you remember that? Yes. Like day off, we did a period, like
2-3 days.
2-3 days in the period.
Period leave.
Yeah. And also
this is like so luxurious element, even from, you know, even big enterprises do not have that yet. But our group has it. And that's after that we have like the direct practice on that. After that,
2 days
because
after.
you
because I got the period and I was tired. I was like, I go
because we have the policy of die off.
Finally, we have the policy.
That's really I proud of us about that, and I also proud of us about having coffee in the rehearsal place. Yeah, that's really.
That was one of the rules.
One of the
yes.
moment.
Yes.
We have
you put the rules, the 2 of you. I didn't agree with that rule. I think it's a bit exaggerated.
But it is important because being an artist is already a hell of a job. Like,
so you need coffee?
You need the best conditions you can possibly get.
Yes.
Because life is one, and you have like a short time to live, and it should be the most pleasurable as possible.
Yes.
And therefore, why not having all the possible commodities as much as is possible, like having coffee whenever you need. And also, like, what I really enjoyed is free time.
Yeah.
That we just stay together and chit-chat and laugh and tell us, you know, daily things.
That's very Indonesian. Huh?
And that's, maybe that's very Indonesia, but it's also very human. Yeah. And somehow with the imposing of capitalist capitalism mentality, producing, somehow this free time, it got a bit depreciated, because it's non-productive time. And as it is non-productive time, it tends to be taken away from most working schedules, like it is not work. But it is part of the work, to just sit together eating and chitty-chatting. It is a fundamental part of who we are, how we are together, and the group makes the work. So how the group dynamics are important. They're not.
And I think I learned most intercultural stuff outside from the work, like in this daily,
in the daily.
Yeah.
Speaking about,
In the rubber time.
In the rubber time.
Yeah, but then, like, back to work, we finally decide to talking about sexual harassment in our group. Do we need to talk more about that? A bit?
Yes, why not?
Why then this decision, maybe why this decision is like made?
But
and
let's say that it was already in the discussions. We had a lot of discussion in the group, and then we also met a lot of other realities in Yogyakarta and stuff, and so it was already in the discourse coming by, among other topics that are related to this one. So it was already in the air. But that may be what I am very proud, this I'm very, very happy for the process to happen, is that at some point it was inside the group.
yeah,
And that made it happened to people in the group, and that made it very much in front of our eyes.
and very urgent.
And very urgent, because you know, a colleague of yours is passing by this situation, and that makes it not so far away and not so theoretical anymore, and even not so far away in terms of time, because I also have been a victim of sexual harassment, but in the past, you know, so there is anyway a distance, but when it happens in front of you, then it's there.
yeah.
And that made it very necessary as a group. Like we want to answer to that artistically, and that was for me a very precious element on why tackle sexual harassment. Not just because it's a good idea, not just because it's important, but because it's actually happening to us
Yes.
in flesh and bones.
Yeah, and I think also the challenge was to say, can we speak about it? And how can we speak about it? And I think that will be the process of the following weeks, like how can we really bring something on the plate that is so present, so urgent, so I think present in many places here. So I think we have a challenge in front of us, but I do hope it will give something then also to the audience and to the people that will be there when we, what day we present again?
24th of February
Yes, Saturday.
in Balai Budaya Minomartani.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I think that's also what's Paradance platform trying to, I don't know, trying to do for now and hopefully in the future. We already heard a lot of cases about this, but we cannot really do a lot because, yeah, maybe we need more allies for this. We need more people to support each other to really talk about this. We already did several things, but maybe it's still spread out a bit, not really you know, structured in order and really focus on that. But yeah, hopefully this also the starter dialogue.
But like we are, Bilora is engaged in researching in the field of artivism, so how art can also be like concretely helpful to some very specific fights, and therefore go hand in hand with activist movements. And I am pretty confident actually in the processes, because I believe that it's slow, but it's kind of unstoppable. Like when one starts to talk about something and someone is listening, then it's spread. And if there is a space, if people like you, for example, you have a platform here and you decided to open the space of your platform for this discourse, and you're setting an example for other spaces to do the same, and it will happen, I believe, because it's real, and nobody likes it.
Yeah.
No, I think women have up to here to be harassed and objectified and
Of course.
and be subjected to power relations by toxic men. So I think the emotional ground is totally ready. People is ready for the change. Nobody wants it anymore. But the conditions for the rage and the tiredness to organize itself into common action, okay, this takes time, of course. But also we are in an era where everything goes very quickly, I believe. So this is also not bad. In a way, internet also helps a lot. Social medias
not a lot.
sometimes social medias are a problem. Maybe they numb us, but sometimes they can create awareness too. It can be a tool, and sometimes, you know, there are some tools that we can, because below there's also is self-organized. It's a collective that does everything that there is to be done by itself. So, for example, when you, in a way, you're not only an artist, no, you're also a producer, a cultural professional, cultural mediator and stuff. And when you have these different sides of your job, sometimes it's possible to I don't know, open space for other realities to participate and, you know, start to make alliances on specific topics that then really can change.
Alliance is the key.
Yes.
Networking.
But and how the process will be? Do you have like
The creation process.
Yes, the creation process.
Well, we can say that everybody is giving material.
It's a secret, huh? It's a secret.
But everybody's creating materials at the moment.
We are very much, I think, all of us decided to co-create, so which means every one of us puts creative material in the space, research and create material. We look at each other, we also create together. But it's really, we're experimenting this collective process to really see how we can create a performance really together. Without an external director or someone who tells us what to do. But what I saw the last days was very...
Yeah, now we enter in the creation phase, so it's really fun. Huh?
So we cannot say too much. Huh?
And that's a challenging process also, right?
Yes, of course it is.
Yes, of course, because at some point we will need to take agreements about how to present the materials, and this is always a challenging moment.
But I think we should use the martial art of Baju Doran.
From Ella?
Yeah,
from Ella.
Figure out the technique. Who has the stronger argument? I like that one.
Yeah, but also, like I said before, we have these two parallel process, like the artistic process, and also we're trying to do in relation to the ethical guidance in how we do this process, like the rules, like we already said before.
Yeah, sure. A part of the residency has been the exchange, and then a part of the residency is about trying to see how we come together. You know, the 3 days of post-its and writings and this is always a phase when really you try to say, okay, and now everybody needs to have a space for expressing what she sees in front of herself, what she wants, creatively, artistically wise, but also what she wants personally wise and professionally, so that we can align, you know, align and orient ourselves as group in the same direction, and you know, without forgetting anybody.
Yes.
And without anybody, you know, running in front. You know, like to try to set a tempo that is common, and this is, in our experience, needs to be done before starting creating. Because first you settle, tune to one another, and then once this ground is set and you have a tuning, you can start creating together, and the agreements will become easier.
It's a bit like this image of a boat, you know, when you decide to do a trip together and you all get on the boat, and then you need to coordinate who's doing this work, who's cooking for the others while you're doing, you know. And I think we were doing this job to see, okay, now we're ready to navigate, but the better team we are, the further we can go with this goal. So maybe it brings us until the Americas one.
Yeah, and also how this boat can be safe for all of us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we still trying here. I think it's not really common to have that, especially in the dancing. I'm not really see a lot this kind of process. So at first, like working in the ethical guidance first, how we work together. Like it's like directly the choreographer decide everything, and then there is no space for personal things in the space. But you know, when we think about, again, like we are human working, so we need that as a human, right?
I think it very much reflects on what understanding of society we have. If we have a hierarchical one where it's just about productivity, so we need to make a show and that's it. Or if it's really about creating community and starting from the needs of the community, in this case 5-6 artists together that create a community and they decide what is important and share it. So I think it's their different, also physical gestures. No, this is very
vertical.
This is really horizontal, has a really different.
I think you tackled twice. Like one is for sure the time, in the sense that one of the conditions for creating a safe path is also taking time, reappropriating time for your processes to unfold, and it is a challenge. Because in the art world, we know that it's like getting fund for longer, slow processes is always a challenge, and it is, but somehow Bilora is trying to push this as a practice in the art field. And the other one is community, really. It's really, because in the end, when you share a deep layer, you really become linked. And this connection that you have, you maybe not lose it. Like we have very dear artist friends that we have been collaborating maybe once 10 years ago, but we are still connected. And that makes a difference also in the quality of your life, of course, but it's not just making friends, it's that you also create collaborations that have that really collaborate, that can take risk for each other, and that they have trust in each other, and they are not formal or nominal, but they are substantial, because you actually have been knowing each other, and everybody has a piece of the project in them, and therefore it's much more likely that you actually would collaborate for real. And when problems arise, because they always arrive, you will actually, as a boat, when tempest come.
Like you don't like rubber time.
There's always the sharks coming. And
when the tempest come, maybe the boat will actually pass through it and survive it. So it's also about really the art at the end, protect the job.
Yeah.
Because so many projects, they have beautiful ideas and groups, very creative, beautiful. But then they fight with each other, they don't know each other, and in the end they got split and everything falls. And it's a pity.
Yes.
For the art.
So that's also then we're talking about the sustainability of this art, because in a way we always talk like sustainability in the financial way and environmental way, which are important, but then this
social way.
Yes. The social thing also something we need to talk about in relation to this sustainability.
But they are totally connected, they are intertwined. You cannot have economic sustainability and not environmental, and having environmental and not having socials, because it's like they are intertwined. You cannot ask an artist to be I don't know, doing slow tours that takes 6 months in another continent and not providing for children to be traveling with them and having a nanny. You need to, you know, there is the social aspect of it that is always connected with the other two. Otherwise, it's not possible.
So yeah, we like you said, like this might be connect like the social sustainability, which is also connect with the person sustainability, like individual sustainability, then also the financial sustainability, and also later like environmental.
Yeah, and like the intercultural dialogue, for example, can really, it's more complex, but the complexification of the field allow the group and everybody, because then you share, to be aware of some things that are generally useful. Like otherwise we reproduce in useless, meaningless violence in a way, because when I don't know, I would be very practical. I have been working in international productions in the outside Belora, I mean, and collaborations between different groups, no, in a more classical understanding of it. But sometimes people do not have the sensitivity really to understand that someone needs to have vegetarian food, someone needs to pray, someone needs to I don't know, have a toilet closed because of I don't know, personal reasons, period leave, and so on and so forth. Like diversity teach you to be attentive and to not give for granted that what you experience is the experience of everybody. Like, you know, same, everybody like me. No, everybody not like you. And
everything is one standard.
Yeah, because when I also experienced went to several forums and festivals, but after a while I always ask them in the email, like I need to pray 5 times a day, so during this forum I need just one small space, like clean one, to do that, and water around that space, because I need to clean myself before I pray, for example, like that. But hopefully that small email can, you know, make people think that, oh, there is just one person, but
Yeah.
It's needed.
It's needed, and it needs to become institutional. That's the point a bit, no? Like, there is a lot of discourse about inclusivity and diversity in general, but one thing is to talk about it, and one thing is to try to practice. And you cannot assume you know. You need to ask your group.
Yeah.
And you need, because even if you are attentive, one mind alone, one artistic director or anything, cannot alone. You need to ask your group. So it becomes good practice. Good practice when I have artists invited to my festival, or jury members invited to my festival for instance, then I actually ask, what do you need? And listen to the specific needs and try to provide answer. And when people is asked, they're very collaborative.
Yes.
People is people. Normally, people do not want to create problems. It's just about, asking, listening, and trying to find a good solution.
It's true that's often perceived as a problem when it's like there are standards, and when someone has a different need, then it's kind of already a problem. So that's why often we don't even allow us to ask, to not create problems. So I think that, and then you already repress what is maybe your basic need, in a situation to feel decent for working. So I think
to fit in.
I think this intercultural work taught us a lot about this, and we're still for sure needing to learn a lot, because it's an ongoing learning. But I think we both think, but I believe it's a very important process if we want to meet as human beings.
Yeah.
Like to eventually meet, really encounter each other, and because there's something also this idea that one learns more from the other, but there are different classes, and there's so many. Can I say bullshit? That it's really because, and then especially people that think like that, they will not learn anything, and that's the saddest part, because it's a circle, no? So I learn and I give, and I learn and I give, and that's I think the.
And also I love when I like when people ask like and say what they need, because I can learn, So because at first I email one festival to ask that. I feel like guilty because this is just me, but then I bother a lot of people to do this. But then I feel like, but I need to do this because maybe not just me that need this thing. Maybe in the future a lot of people will need this, but they shy or feel guilty to ask because it's just like personal needs, So then I just brave myself to ask and to say that and to write that. And for me, I really like when people also say something to me if they need something. When I did a festival before Lawatari, Yogyakarta, which is one of the satellite festival from Indonesia, organized between Indonesia Dance Festival, Paradance platform, and Mila Art Dance in Yogyakarta. We opened the master class, and I really feel guilty because there are some participants that have needs to from us to facilitate in the sign language. But then we didn't ask them before, but we already know in the form that this participant is coming from this specific community, but we didn't ask what they need. So when the participants came, I feel, at least me, felt really guilty about that. Like, why I didn't ask before? But then I also, but after that, I think I got the insights and yeah, a good reflection that okay, we need to ask and also we need to say something or write something.
And you will learn for the next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we can only learn through mistakes. I think we in 10 years have been doing a lot of intercultural let's say,
Mistakes, for sure.
But I think that's what we humans do every day. We do something, then we learn out of it, and then we do it different the next time. And so I think that's very important. But what you said bring me also back to what we were speaking about, the topic now of harassment, sexual harassment. But I think it's the same dynamic that often, especially the women experience the harassment, they don't speak about it, of course, and there's so much silence, and so of course they feel isolated. They feel like it's only about them, no? But as you said, maybe it's not just about me. It's not just my need. Like, it's not just what happened to me, but it happened to many. And so I think we try to create also a voice that just wants to stimulate people to speak about it, and not just people that experienced it, but people around, like family or friends or partners that you know are around this person. They speak up, and so the more we speak about it, the less you get something that we cannot solve. The more we can solve it as a society, also as a community. So I think that's also what we were talking about these days.
And also the smaller space for harasser.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is like it's. I think it's important for this specific social fight for women to learn how to recognize the sign, teach it to others, fellow sisters, like to other women, and build the connections, the safe spaces where you can announce, you can share, you have shoulders and hands of other sisters that catch you in case. Then the rest is not our responsibility. Is the rest is their responsibility. Institutions, society, man, they have to take responsibility for change. Institutions cannot be silent, men cannot be silent. It's not our fight because we are the victims, it's our voice, the first one that we rise, but it should be shame for everybody in the society. And for everybody but the victim.
Yes.
The victim should be the only one that do not feel shame. Unfortunately, it's very often the other way around.
Yeah, I think that's also then our artistic approach also maybe cannot answer everything, right?
No.
But we just open the dialogue and and see
And
how
create echoes and ripples.
Yeah.
I think once you start a dialogue, ripples will follow and things will transform. And sometimes it needs time, as you said, but it's better than to not speak about it. I think that's also our experience on the long term.
And also, like Bilaura's activities also always around this.
We work a lot with marginalization, so not just on women, but we've been working in the last years also with different groups that are marginalized for society for several reasons, and kind of unspoken topics because they're challenging and people want to hide them under the magic carpet. So yeah, we've been working also, for example, in Europe, we're working a lot with refugees because migration also there's a lot of
and also the intersection between being migrant and being homosexual, which is kind of a
taboo.
It is kind of a taboo. So there is because there is a discourse about migration and migrant population in Europe. There is programs and there is a sort of attention in trying to facilitate this ethnical meeting, cultural meeting. Then, of course, there are many political obstacles, but okay. But like the intersection between being migrant and migrating for your homosexuality is a very specific case that goes very silent. And there is, until few years ago, there was no association in the whole Italy, so in the whole country, that actually took care of that specific case. Although it's one of the case, one of the among the reasons for leaving your own country and
for persecution.
For persecution. So. You see, in the field of migration, we tackled one of the most at the margin aspect, and at some point we did the same with a bit intersection between capitalism and violence against women. So in this vast discourse that includes topics that are more at the center of the debate, prostitution as a phenomenon was very much on the side because it's very far from everybody's normal life. So very unseen. But this is the place where the most terrible things, intersection between capitalism and patriarchy, happen, and classism. And so we focus our head there. And therefore, let's say that Belora, and before that, the very first project was about death. Which 10 years ago we felt like was something that nobody wanted to look at anymore, like because society have been very materialistic and very, everything needs to be evergreen and everlasting and never aging, and death is something very far away in hospitals, very separated from society and so on. So we investigated that domain of this moment of life, which is on the margin at the very end. And so let's say that Belora has an obsession with margin.
Yeah, the unspoken, unheard things.
Yeah, the unheard.
And there's unfortunately many out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's quite
hard job, huh?
It's quite hard and heavy.
Yeah, sometimes, but
we also create fun projects.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think one thing is to speak about the topic seriously, but then, as you said, also you don't always stay on the topic. You also eat together. You go to dance
we're having
together.
fun.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah, and also we decided also to have a style in performance that, although we treat heavy sometimes topics like not very much fun, we anyway decided that we want to keep the style poetic. So actually we don't talk heavily about heavy stuff. We talk poetically about important things. So we try to, we don't want the public to get out heavier than it got in. Just moved.
And stimulated.
Moved, but also moved in beauty, not only moved in meaning. Both of them. It's a difficult balance, huh? It's
beauty is important source.
I think it's one of the most complex challenge that we face as artists, inside Belora. How you keep the balance between wanting to be, transformed and transcendental power of art. You look something, wow, beautiful, and you get out.
The energy is really
but the topic is actually relevant, It's still a question. Every time for us is a question. How we keep this balance that is also beautiful. Not just important.
But that's really important because I think that we need to embrace that kind of, like I said before in the group, like we need to embrace the feminine energy in our maybe artistic approach. So maybe this can be powerful, like the beauty is mostly in the vibration of feminine energy, I thought. So I think that's really important.
Yes, and empowerment especially.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been working quite much on empowerment.
Yeah.
art gives you more than that it takes you. And that's, I think we're going to do that also in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Hopefully. Yes. And yeah, after the heavy conversation,
Yeah.
maybe this is the last one. Like,
Yes.
what do you eat? Yes, I think that's really important.
Nasi goreng.
Nasi goreng. And what?
Nasi
you like
goreng,
eggplants or
nasi telur, dan terong.
terong? You really like terong. Why?
Because it's my favorite vegetables ever. Terong.
But you
Overly.
never cook like that, right?
Ye-
Like with sambal and everything.
Nah, sambal. But Mediterranean kitchen has often aubergine, eggplant, and also hot chili. But let's say we don't put it everywhere like in
You
Indonesia.
don't put it together, these two.
You can put it together, but we don't put sambal, hot chili everywhere.
How usually you cook like eggplants?
You grill them, huh?
My favorite is always grilled with olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and petersil. How is it called in English?
Prezzemolo.
Prezzemolo.
What is that?
Persil.
Persil.
You don't
And
have that.
garlic, and they are delicious.
But I'm not so much into eggplant. What I really like is mieletek.
Mieletek.
Although you call them dirty noodles, but they're not dirty. They're really
You
good.
like
Yes.
you like bought that for dinner almost every day,
Yes.
right?
Yes. If we can, yes.
Why you love that one?
I think because the noodles are made from cassava. So
They're
I
special.
like the taste. It has a different taste than just rice noodles or wheat noodles. So I think, and then the way they cook it, I think. But and what else we've been eating a lot?
We've been eating like everything, but I think the most favorite is this and avocado shake.
Avocado. You
Alpukat.
drink
Alpukat juice.
every day. Yeah.
Yes, we are very much enjoying tropical fruit because Europe.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. I
And
know.
of course sambal.
But I didn't taste yet the chocolate from Indonesia.
Chocolate.
No,
Not
so
yet.
famous?
No, you don't like? It's not good.
I'm not sure. But you're from Europe. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but it grows in Indonesia, the
Yeah,
cacao.
yeah, yeah. Chocolate. Yeah. Can we say the brand? Kita
Maybe.
bisa ngomong brand? Okay.
We can say it.
Maybe
afterwards, so it's not a publicity.
Yeah, there is a
You will tell us
chocolate
secretly.
mongo.
Okay.
You can got it actually from the Hamzah Batik from the when
yes,
we
Hamzah
saw
Batik,
the
yes.
Raminten Cabaret. That's but also they have their own store,
Yes,
chocolate mongo store. Maybe you can. But the chef I think from Belgium, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah, right?
history of colonialism. The chocolate, cacao is.
But we drink Indonesian coffee.
We drink
Yeah,
Indonesian
you
coffee.
already drink that.
Yeah.
Kapal
Let's say
api. But you need to try kopi gajah.
Okay.
Coffee gotcha.
Let's say that
Elephant.
there are some recipes that are maybe most famous in Indonesia that we don't really taste so much because we go vegetarian.
Yeah, like bakso.
Yeah.
Yeah, we eat
I
a
see
little.
ate that.
Sometimes.
But I ate mie ayam. I eat mie ayam.
You ate chicken.
Yes, I sometimes taste chicken dishes.
Yeah.
But few.
To taste it, to see
But
what it is like. But
she ate bakso without the meatball.
okay, bakso.
Yeah, not without the meatball.
But that's good without the meatball. Like that's okay.
Yeah, it's not so interesting.
And we
I
eat
put a lot of
Indomie.
sambal.
Indomie. Yeah, that's really the comfort food. Even because I sick in 2 weeks, but after I already recover. I'm still like feel every night I need something warm,
Indomie.
and Indomie
It
is
healed you.
yeah.
That's also.
I know
that's
that's
a
not
brand,
healthy, but yeah, that's a brand.
That's a brand.
But that's okay, I think. Okay, so thank you so much
Thank you.
for tonight. And hopefully we have like 2 weeks left, right?
Yes.
2 weeks, only 2
left.
weeks left.
Yes, it will go fast. But we hope to come back one
Do
day.
you have any expectation?
No, I think that we have created together first step of this project that is very free. So we will present what we have, and it's very good conditions for being quiet about the result, and we already have very good materials already on the first creation day. And yeah, and then would be useful to build a longer term collaboration, which is in terms of sustainability really a thing, and I'm very confident.
Yeah, like you said, we are connected when we are connected, right?
Yes.
So just
And we will be ready
yes. Okay.
somehow.
So we will present at 24th of February,
Yes.
2024, right?
Yes.
2025.
At evening, I guess.
Yes. Ing Balai Budaya Minomartani. Jadi kita nanti akan presentasi hasil residensinya di tanggal 24 Februari 2024 di Balai Budaya Minomartani, Sleman, Yogyakarta. Dan yeah, do you have any closing statement? Are you happy here? Do you want to move to the south? Please move.
No.
No.
We stay with the north.
No, we really like.
We like very much here. It's like feeling at home. We have
like
also
a village, and everyone is nice with us.
everybody's nice. It's unbelievable.
We
Gives
get to know
hope.
people. We talk with them.
Yeah, Indonesian people we found amazing. Honestly, really nice.
Want to take picture with you.
No, small. It happens
you're
sometimes,
celebrity.
but not
But this
not
is because
often.
we are beautiful.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Are they also
it's like,
nice to you?
They are quite nice. Yes.
Kami bukan bule, kami bulan.
Bulan. And also you are the local gang.
Akamsi.
Counts it.
We are learning basic, very important part of the vocabulary.
Okay.
No, it's really, it's very easy to stay here for me.
And your
Very
friends also, you are younger during your time here.
People when they see me on screen,
Yes.
from Italy,
Yes.
everybody tell me, oh, you look very good, you look younger, you
But
look
I think it's
dressed.
the colors of Indonesia around.
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, that makes our skin more shiny.
More shiny because we sweat.
And also because you ate a lot of fruits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wash away.
But are you okay with the food also?
Yes.
very much.
No, food is great.
Enjoy very much.
But it's very renowned, the Indonesian food is good.
Yes.
Yes.
And a lot of like the choices for vegetarian also.
Yeah, it is actually less, it's pretty easy for us to eat vegetarian, which is really good.
So yeah, we will trying to do something to so we can you can come again here anytime soon after this project.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
yes.
Teman-teman bisa lihat di sini ada buku Dancing the Antibody, Antibody.
I don't know.
Dancing the Antibody. Jadi ini adalah salah satu program publikasi dari Paradance platform yang kita kerjakan sejak tahun 2022. Kita mengarsipkan tulisan-tulisan koreografer Paradance untuk menulis soal gimana mereka berproses selama pandemi dan refleksi apa yang mereka dapatkan selama pandemi, selama COVID-19 gitu. Jadi dan bagaimana secara artistik maupun secara personal mereka mungkin bertransformasi gitu. Jadi ya semoga buku ini menjadi penting untuk kita semua, dan kalau teman-teman mau beli buku Dancing the Antibody, teman-teman bisa mengakses website Penerbit Garudhawaca. Linknya ada di bawah ya. Teman-teman juga bisa beli di e-commerce, nanti linknya juga ada di bawah. Teman-teman juga bisa beli e-booknya, linknya juga ada di bawah. Beneran ya linknya di bawah? Oke, terima kasih untuk hari ini dan semoga teman-teman semua menikmati Dancelog episode hari ini dan kita akan bertemu kembali di Dancelog berikutnya. Bye-bye!